I used to be a doctor's wife. I used to be a woman who had the world at her feet. We used to stay in a waterfall estate mansion, and everything was so beautiful. I used to drive a Range Rover that was the latest model for that year that can cost a lot of money. Now I am a widow and life is just painful for me. I really do not understand how I am going to get out of this problem. I am not even built for a 7 to 5 job at a retail store. That is why I have decided that this year, 2026, mark my words, Bro Nash. No matter what kind of confessions that I have had, this year I am headed out to Mozambique to do rituals because my hands are too soft to be working as a checkout girl. From 2012 to 2018, my life was a dream. I had my husband. My husband, he was working at the private hospital. We were the it couple in brackets. I was a housewife. My husband, he did not want me to work. He did not want me to further my education. He said that I was too beautiful to be seen outside. I had to stay inside, and you know, life in the estate, you are always behind your own jura home. I was a housewife with only metric. I did not even need a degree when I had a husband who brought in a lot of money, up to 300K a month. I spent my days at the spa and my nights at the most expensive restaurants in Centron, either me and my husband or even with the kids. My husband was very ambitious. He was too ambitious. And instead of me warning him, I told him that what he was doing, it was good for you. He was fighting for his own family and the life that we were living. We needed more money to keep on maintaining the lifestyle. Around 2014, that was when he befriended a fellow doctor. This was a man that was from DRC, whom I will call Dr. Luke. Luke was different. He did not just work as a doctor. He was someone that had a lot of other secret businesses. He did not even have any registered business, but he was making money. One night, over an expensive whiskey at our house, they were actually in the study in which my husband used to spend some time in there. That was when my husband later told me that, look, the new friend had told my husband about what they call funeral stock market in South Africa. He later told me that Luke had said, you know that I have been making money from this funeral stock market in which I could not understand. And then my husband made me to understand that this Congolese doctor, he was part of a syndicate that insured elderly patients. This is still happening to this very day. You need to check if your elderly father or a mother or your elderly relative who stays on their own, if they have regular people who pretend to come and donate things to them so that they can just get access to their ID card, and then they can insure them, and then they wait for those people to die, and then they benefit from the insurance. That is how this scam works. So when my husband told me about this, he promised me that we were going to be making a lot of money. These were patients, the ones that did not have family, the ones that were even forgotten in the government wards. So this Congolese doctor, since he was working in the government, he would visit them for charity, and he would pretend as if he is their closest relative, and he would take out high value life insurance and funeral policies on these gogos. And he told me that he would use his medical authority to sign off on the paperwork listing relatives who were actually members of the syndicate. I did not ask a lot of questions. Why would I? Every time a gogo died, usually within 2 years of being insured, a massive payout would hit a business account, and we were going to be making our money. It was just like an investment. I was too busy buying expensive clothes, whining and dining to realize that I was enjoying the money of people that had died. We were living on the blood payouts from the elderly. By 2020, we had more money than we knew what to do with. This was not legal money. This was money that was supposed to be spent within a very short period of time. So he then told me that he started having these dreams about seeing old women that came to him calling out his name. Then it happened in 2022. The Hawks, they raided our house. It was at 4 a.m. They just did not want to see my husband. They wanted the files, and it turned out that Dr. Luke had flipped. He was now working with the police. He had been caught at the border with a suitcase of cash, and then he pointed the finger straight at my husband as well as other people that he was working with. They charged my husband with 15 counts of insurance fraud and conspiracy to commit murder, because I suspect that these two and other syndicate members, I think that they even ended the lives of the other patients that were in the hospitals, because we are talking about doctors here who know each and every chemical that they can use in a smart way to end the life of a person that they would have put on the insurance. So I was supposed to adjust my brother because the state froze everything overnight. I went to try and fill up the car, and the card was declining. I returned back home, saw that there were people that came to take the cars. Everything was taken, every cent that we had. And as for Luke, he had been telling my husband for a couple of years not to put all of his eggs in one basket. He even suggested that we open some offshore accounts so that if anything goes wrong, we will be having money somewhere. But my husband, he was scared. He said that let us keep everything in South Africa. He does not trust other people to handle our money. We did not even have money for lawyers because we had our accounts that were frozen. My husband did not even make it to the trial. He died in a holding cell under mysterious circumstances. And I think that he did not take his own life because this syndicate, I think that it is a big rabbit hole. I was left with nothing but a metric certificate and a mountain of shame. The friends whom we used to sip with Moet on my patio, they all disappeared. I had to move back to my mom's four-roomed house in Soweto. The transition was a nightmare. I went from ordering Woolies delivery to standing in a line just to buy something regular like bread at a local supermarket, and that will be the last money that I will be having. I tried to look for a job, but who wants to hire a 35-year-old woman with no skills? Because basically I don't have any skills. And walking around the neighborhood, it is pretty tough because people, they used to know me as that woman who drives expensive cars. The soft life is the one that makes me not to go out and to try to look for a job. I would rather have a boyfriend that is a ritualist that will give me all the money in the world so that I can return back to where I used to be. All day long, I sit on a plastic chair just looking. I can't do this for another year or so. I am not a 7 to 5 woman because even growing up, I did not like to stay in Soweto. I would rather stay with my friends at my friend's house who were staying in the estate. That is how I managed to meet my husband. And then he went to varsity, trained, and I was very faithful to him, and I will do whatever that he wanted me to do. I was not born to work very hard. I was born to be a housewife, to enjoy money, go on vacations, and to just enjoy life in general. I believe that the money that my husband made, it was legal money. He was hustling. He just played the system really well. And this money, I believe that it was stolen from us under unfair circumstances. And I need to go to a spiritual source so that I can find a new blessing that does not require any insurance policy. I have been talking to a woman in the location who used to be as broke as I am, but now she drives a G-Wagon. She did not get it from a tender. She got it from Tete. She said that she went to Mozambique in Tete. She told me and she said, if you want to be rich, you need to use the ancestors. Those are going to give you money and they will never take that money away from you. She told me about a witch doctor who is in Mozambique who specializes in helping people, those that want to be rich, as quickly as possible. So I'm here to tell you that I am planning a trip for July this year. I have sold one of my jewelry. That is what I'm going to use that money to fund this journey. I am going there to perform a ritual that will wipe away the bad luck that came from my husband being arrested and to make me a magnet for great wealth. I am told that the ritual involves a spiritual marriage to a marine spirit, but it is a marine spirit that looks like a snake and it is a man. They told me that if we go there to Mozambique for this woman, when she goes to Mozambique, she renews her powers, and we are waiting for the time to come so that we can go to Mozambique. We are supposed to go by the ocean, and I am going to be cleansed by the ocean, where a marriage ceremony is going to be done at the ocean so that I can have money. People talk about snake rituals, but I don't feel as if these are just rituals. I am ready to do whatever that it is going to take so that I can get my life back. Every night I sit in my mother's house and I feel like a terrible mother for the things that I am about to do. I recently had a dream about my husband. He was telling me not to go to Mozambique, but what did my husband do for me? He left me in the dirt. He left me to be mocked by people who wash floors, people who used to wash my floors. Now they feel that they are much better than I am. He left for me this embarrassment of someone who came from the suburbs, now staying in the locations. I feel like when I go to Mozambique, when I come back, I am going to be making so much money. When I return back from Mozambique, I want everyone to know that I am now living a great life. I am writing this as a confession because I wanted you to know the before, what happened for me to go to Mozambique, so you can understand the after. When you see me back, when I return back, when I start making my money, if it happens that by 2027, I am making so much money back in the mansions, back in the suburbs, where I feel like I deserve, I want you people to know that I went through hell. I went into the ocean to sleep with a mermaid so that I can be what I used to be. We only live once, so let me make this decision. I have a choice in South Africa. If you are a black woman with no degree and a scandalous past, you are not going to make it anyway. And I am going to prove to people that even a woman can do these Ukutwala rituals, but I know that life is going to turn out really well. But in the meantime, I want people to know, especially those that have relatives, to know that out there is a stock market for people. Regularly check on your relatives that are old and ask them, is there someone who visits them quite often, giving them gifts, pretending as if they want to be good to them? Just keep on checking, because your relative might be registered somewhere under someone's insurance policy. When they die, then that person is going to benefit a lot of money. And the danger is that this person, they can even make sure that once the money is accumulated after paying for 2 or 3 years, they want your relative to die. And you might feel as if it does not make sense. I am talking about people who have a lot of relatives that are not their blood relatives or even related in any kind of way. Some have 20, 30, 40 people that they pay for their premiums. They really do not care because they know that they are going to get a lot of money. So it is something that needs to be exposed as well. But I am telling you that by this end of 2026, I am going to be doing rituals. I don't care what kind of rituals that I'm going to be doing. I have totally made up my mind, even if it means that I sacrifice someone that is closely related to me. So that will be what I am going to do. I have no regret at all because life is not fair. Me and my husband, we used to enjoy life. Everything was good. Then all of a sudden, my husband was arrested, even though he was innocent. All that he did was that he played the system really well. Don't they steal? Those that are in the government, are they not stealing? Are they not robbing from us South Africans? Us, we were not even stealing from anyone. We were paying and we were getting our money as investments. And those people that died, those that did not have relatives, my husband told me that they would hold some private funeral ceremonies for them because that insurance company buys the coffin and then the person gets buried in dignity. And we were actually removing the burden from the government because when you die in hospital and you do not have any close relative that can take care of the burial, then what it means is that the burden is going to be left on the state. That is why I feel like I need to go to Mozambique to sort my life out and deal with the devil directly. This is my confession. I'll be back with an update. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Have you ever heard about this insurance thing whereby they register old people and after they would have registered that person, then after a year or 2 years, then the insurance pay out after that person would have died. And our dear sister is saying that she suspects that even a husband and that Congolese doctor, they will do something sinister so as to end the life of that person. Have you ever seen someone visiting an elderly person in the area where you are staying and that person is not related to that elderly person? Maybe you need to ask if they have their ID number taken, because she was saying that all that they need the most is the ID number so that they can register that person for the insurance, life insurance. Just imagine you are walking around right now, you do not even know that there is someone that is paying a premium on your name, waiting for a death certificate in your name to be there. Then they cash out millions. Just imagine someone maybe has paid for more than 10, 12 years premiums waiting for you to die. Your strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us meet again in the following episode.